Well, hello and welcome to ILoveGay today. And we are jumping in the world of business in Europe. And we are here with Pavel Subrt from Vienna, Austria, and Ludo Swinnen from Antwerp in Belgium. How are you both?
Well,
Hey,
fine.
how are you?
It's so good to see you both. I especially with Pavel because of all of your social media posts that you do on LinkedIn. I feel like I know you guys already and so much of the work you do because you're very good at getting the word out.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys both head up an LGBTQ chamber of commerce that's becoming more and more prevalent in Europe. We're seeing with kind of the rise of bringing together LGBT business people all across the continent. And so yours is East meets West. And tell us a little bit about kind of how you got started and about the organization.
Well, East Meets West is the organization that we started 11 years ago.
Yeah.
The total start was, in fact, at a given moment, me and Pavel. We were driving by car from Hungary to Vienna because we were working in Central Eastern Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't know I was gay, and I didn't know he was gay. And I said to myself, well, we're working now together. I have to tell him. And I said, I can do it now. I'm sitting in the car on the motorway in Hungary. He can hardly kick me out here. And whatever happens, he cannot beat me either. So I said, this is the same time. I said to Pavel, Pavel, there's something I have to tell you. Yeah, and he's like, Pavel, I'm gay. And it kept very much silent, not much happening. Looked at me and said, so am I. And that was our coming out, that we understood. Yeah, so that's really okay. And how did it start? It started with in Prague, where there was this business forums. There were a lot of business forums especially in Vienna, which is in fact the center of this region. And we sat there the whole day, and we saw a lot of foreign companies. We saw a lot of people talking, but there was nobody from Central Eastern Europe, the region that we talked to. To make it simple for you, the former communist countries that started the Czech Republic, and that was the whole thing. And for many people, it was still this white spot after the wall fell. They knew it was something, but they had incredible stories about these countries. So I said, we have to do something. I said, we need these people. Why don't we invite some of these people for the next forum? Yeah, that there is some link between the two. And we thought we bring 2-3 people from there. And what happened, Pavel? What happened there?
I think we totally mismanaged because at the end, instead of this few people, we brought together like 60, 70 people. Wow. And we basically needed to start with an event. So we started with, first we called it forum because we were very humble. We didn't want to call it a conference. But over the years, really, it became really the conference in the region. And roughly 150 people all the time at our events. But maybe one more thing what Ludo forgot to say in this the beginnings of East meets West. Of course, there was this one and only time in the car where we basically came to each other. But what I loved was this time before, because we already knew each other. Yeah. And Ludo said, like, we didn't know that, I don't know, like Ludo is gay, I'm gay. I think it was very obvious, at least for me, because we were traveling in different places in a car and we were playing classical music and listening to classical music. I mean, not really that many men would probably do it in the car, right? So we didn't really discuss, hey, how was the football match yesterday night? And all of these little indications, and it was kind of like a dating, right? So it's like getting little closer, and at the end, it was there.
But the signals coming from Pavel didn't fit really because, the first time I saw him, he came in and I said, oh, is she your girlfriend? Does he have a boutique or something? Because he was nicely dressed for somebody in Central Europe there, not boring, but nice. But he was driving a Skoda Octavia, a brick, he's talking a brick. So this kind of bully car, so well, that's not a gay car, certainly not. So that cannot be that he is gay. They don't drive these cars. So it didn't really fit at all. At the end, it fit quite well, yeah.
Don't you love that the stereotypes, we're breaking stereotypes all the time, even with your car?
Oh yeah, of course.
But that really lends itself towards, I think, what's important for your organization, because I noticed there are kind of two key things. East meets West, social, and kind of tapping into or there's so much work it appears that needs to be done in Central and Eastern Europe, and then of course East meets West business, and you guys are kind of tackling both and kind of bringing them together in a unique way.
Yeah, I think for the social part, we started with the social part because what we did is every time we went to one of these countries, Kosovo, Serbia, whatever, all these countries, we looked at the internet. Is there some NGO there? We just invited them, we met them, and this is how we built up a network. We met them all the time, but that was really social because at that time, believe me, the social element was very negative, it was very tough. But at the same time, you felt also that they were growing, they were looking for solutions, they were looking for becoming more independent, more visible in their environment. So the social element and the human resource element was quite important, but at that moment too, many of them became members of the European Union, and it changed also. That was the beginning, that we worked on that too. But at the beginning, there was no talking about business at all.
Yeah. But now you've evolved, and now like you were talking about the event, the forum, which is now an annual conference, and between that and working with other business groups and chambers, there just seems to be a lot of activity in the real world where you're bringing people together in a way that's never been done before.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not only the conference, which is, I would say, like the highlight of the year, because it's the time of the year where everybody gets together. It's basically a kind of celebration of getting together, but it's also all of the different events and activities what we do throughout the year. One of the latest ones, maybe somebody spotted, there was this Open for Business specific report for Slovakia, where we got involved. We helped putting this together, and also with the funding. Why? Because on 12th October, actually it's my birthday, 1.5 years ago, there was a shooting in Bratislava in the city center, and 2 people were shot dead in front of a queer bar or coffee place. And this was actually hurting a lot. And what we thought that, okay, so there were definitely things being done on the ground when it comes to mobilizing public. But what we wanted is to mobilize also the whole business environment, right? Because we thought it's like, okay, let's bring businesses together. Let's bring and write some kind of position paper, and idea, let's also get it confirmed by your research. So that's why we also reach out to Open for Business. By now, I think we collected around 70 signatures from large companies, large businesses, and it is supported by this economical research, which shows clearly what is it that the country is missing if not being LGBTI inclusive. So there are various different events. Last year, March, we were hosting also, we were hosting the Canadian LGBT Chamber of Commerce in Vienna. So there was, I think, quite a unique trade mission. And for the very first time, they came to Austria together with 12 diverse businesses. For 2 days, we were running some events, matchmaking, showcasing sessions. So I think we do, for just small organization, quite a lot, Ludo, right?
But it's still the 2 of us. Yeah, we started with the 2 of us. And after 11 years, it's just 2 of us. There is no overhead. There are no extra people there. We just do everything that you see. We do just the 2 of us. And this is not because we think we're the only ones who can do it, but, you know, we are, first of all, we are excellent with friends. With us, we are loyal. And if Pavel asks me something, can you do it before 10 o'clock? It's done before 10 o'clock. If I ask him something, it's also done. We support the result totally. And the strange thing is that when we have some kind of, let's say, strategic discussion, it doesn't take much time. You know, the last time that Pavel visited me in Antwerp, we said, perhaps we should do something in 2024, which is quite different. We talked for, I think, 5 minutes, and we had an arrangement. It was okay. So no longer, so we can do that. We don't cost a lot. We don't have a lot over it. We're very inexpensive. But at the same time, we really want to go for having some targets that we do. And there's also something also very important in East meets West, is that both of us, we just feel that both of us are privileged. I am married. Pavel is also in a relationship, kind of married as far as possible. We are safe. When I work around, when I live around in Vienna, or I work around in Antwerp, there is no discrimination. Nobody will say anything against us. We have our rights. And even, for instance, if something happens in that there's some fight with gay men or women, The next day it's on TV. And the prime minister talks about, we have a gay prime minister. We have all these things. It is it's business as usual. So that gives us a life that is free, that is protected, that is comfortable. And so many around us, not far from us, they don't have that. And we have seen in the last, let's say, years, deteriorating this, especially in Central Eastern Europe. We have Poland, who did stupid things. We have Russia, don't talk about Russia. We have Ukraine. It used to be, now it's changing. Belarus, look at Belarus, Serbia. We can give you so many examples of things going down because of the influence of populistic politicians. Mm-hmm. And also, so I can say that, a lot of influence from churches. American churches, very basic, a lot of money, and they also put these strange ideas in people's minds. So, and therefore, we think we also do that something. But the business element has become very important because it gives us power, it gives us drive to go further. The governments as such did a lot, but I think they're at the end. They give us laws, but the law has to live. So we have to go now more to the businesses that really can show also, we support you in what you do, we give you the possibilities. We also are having a clear view in our policy that helps us, and that is really for the future. And there, it's still a lot of work, but that is for most countries where we work, also not always understandable. And it goes slowly, it goes very slowly. But we continue to do this. But this is more the speciality of Pavel.
Yeah, but I mean, as much as Ludo now sounded a bit negative, and true, the region is not that much fun, right? So things are not running really well. But what we try to do, at least with East meets West, is to look at it a bit from the brighter side, right? So, of course, we can always come and we can always complain all the time, but we try to always find either those things which are working well and really like bring them, showcase them, publish them, promote them as much as possible. And the same with role models, right? So this whole idea of East meets West is actually about showing role models from the community, showing them not only within the community, but also outside. So for the community, it's important, especially in this business environment, to show them so that people see that, yes, it is possible to be out. We know it's difficult, but it is possible to be out. And for the society, well, it's also important because it's not only about the one single day in a year of the Pride month, of the Pride March, that everything gets very rainbow, there is an explosion of rainbow colors, but it is basically part of the whole year. And we try to do this also, and maybe somebody also saw the pages. So what we do yearly, we always put together an overview, not only our own work. So we talk about what we have done, what events what we have accomplished, but also what has been happening in the region the last 12 months. And I think it became a quite nice publication of almost 30 pages. Yeah. We started, I think, with just a few, but it's simply, there is so much to talk about. And secondly, Ludo simply loves writing. So sometimes he's hard to stop because, I mean, otherwise we would end up at 100 pages and that would be a little difficult for people to read.
He goes with the copywriter. That means that he says, you know, it should go away on the 1st of February. And we have here 25 pages. Can you edit them a little bit? And let's say our friends in all these countries, they like to write a lot. It doesn't always make sense. So sometimes I really like it's a lot. But when it's off, when it's ready, you can send it out. We are proud. We're very proud that we made this again, that we put it once again on the map as this is Central Eastern Europe, with the bad things, with the good things. And generally speaking, there is a lot still happening. The people are very dynamic, young and dynamic, and they will not be stopped, believe me.
Yeah. I love what you touched on, even in the kind of as we started this direction of the conversation. It really shows the power of leadership. The two of you had taken the role of, as you know, there really is, sometimes we feel powerless or we don't feel like we can impact change. And yet it was the two of you and your dynamic and your relationship. And I would say that also when you take that and then look at the partnerships that you have, whether it's with the European LGBT Chamber of Commerce, the Canadian one, you know, you have these strong relationships with the same folks that did the same thing you did, whether it was Bruce and Daryl in Canada and so forth. And so I think it should hopefully empower all of us to realize that we can make a difference. And it's about leadership, hard work, and those relationships.
And I think it's also about to be simply open, right? So the whole story of us getting in partnership with the Canadian friends or with the US friends, it was this one simple invitation by the Italian chamber at that time to Milano. And suddenly we appeared in the room where there was Daryl sitting in the room talking about the work of the Canadian LGBT Chamber of Commerce. We were quite impressed. Yeah. And then Justin was there as well, talking about US. It's like we were totally wow, this would be cool to achieve one day. And I think it was like 2015 to 2016. We then were thrown out of the room because they had some private discussions, but we were waiting outside of the meeting room. And it's like, Ludo, no, we need to wait. Let's try to have a more conversation with them. Then suddenly Justin appeared after a meeting, and we're trying to basically tell him what we do and how we try to do things in Central Eastern Europe. And he was like, yeah, come over to US, come over to the national dinner. And then it was. And this was basically the spark and the start of a journey, which in the end ended not only us having the partnership, but also us joining the forces in Europe, founding the European LGBT Chamber of Commerce. So it's just to be open, just to try to get to the opportunities which are out there.
Yeah, we get inspired, and at the same time we try to inspire the people around us. Yeah, we are the same. We are interpreted what we've seen. We see the way, and many of these countries are close to getting the partnership recognized. We try to tell them how to work with lobbying, how to work with money, how to do this, how to do that, and we have this very good understanding that they know what they can expect from us, and we know what they can offer us, and we see it every year. We see it in our conference, and I still remember that at a given moment, I think after 4 or 5 years, we said to ourselves, let's stop this. Yeah, this will bring nothing. Yeah, I'm fed up with it. Always, all these Sundays typing and writing and doing all these things and that. And then we just mentioned it to a few of them, that we might stop. And then the reaction was, you must be joking. You cannot stop. We need you. So it is mutually also, we inspire them, but they also give us the drive and the reason to continue, because we see things that we talk about and we see them appear 3-6 months later. And there's an incredible feeling that you have, that really we are one community. We are faced with the same difficulties. Some are further, some are not yet so further. And they're our people. We are one community, especially in that part of the world. And we are also lucky with one thing: nobody really is interested in that part of the world. It's not glamorous. It's not Paris. It's not New York. It is not the big cities. No, it is places like Serbia. It's places like Kosovo. People don't even know what it is, where it is. And still, it's our home. It's our region, and we put them there, and we are happy because they are really immensely strong, dynamic people who are also proud to be gay or lesbian. It's very clear.
Yeah, I love that. Well, this year it seemed like it started out strong. I know you guys were participating or part of or put together the LGBTQ Wedding Congress that was just in Barcelona. But between that and the rest of the year, are there other exciting things that we have to look forward to?
I mean, 24 is a little special year, because what we said is that let's try something different. Not that we would get bored with our work and with the conferences, but somehow when we sat down end of last year with Ludo, we had the same opinion of, okay, I mean, we can once again do a conference. We can invite great speakers. We can basically copy paste all of the templates, send out invitations, but that's not us, right? So we always wanted to do something. Let's do something different, because just to do always the same thing every single year, it's simply not our style. So what we have done is that we announced the so-called East Meets West Connect, and what it is about. We know so many people. We have so many contacts, not only in Central Eastern Europe, but also in Western or overseas. And these are either organizations, these are individuals, these are corporates. So really always somebody who can offer something. And then on the other hand, we have we are the Central Eastern Europe, and this is what we care about. We want that the people, the organizations, they grow. So it's all about basically what capabilities they are missing. And this can be different. It can be different when you are in North Macedonia. It can be different when you are in Czech Republic. So what we have done, we've collected basically the requirements or the missing capabilities. What is it? The top three, what the people and organizations are missing, and we are now working out a certain program for the rest of the year on basically making smaller focused events. This can be roundtables. This can be basically things organized by our corporate partners, but really spotting the point. Not only doing like one general event. So something, a twist. And we hope that with this, we will bring more value to the right people, which we care about.
Yes.
I don't know, Ludo, if there is any additional plan on your table. And Ludo always has some things on his agenda.
Yeah, Pavel thinks because I'm a pensioner now that I have the whole day free to think about these meat quests, you know. That's not the case. I have the whole day free to think about nothing. It's great. No, but I mean, the thing is that we have this kind of electricity between us, and it used to be good because when I was living also in Vienna, where Pavel lived, when I still worked there, we had these days of the white wall. We had a white wall, we put it full of paper, and then we started writing, these things, and something came always out. But I think now for the moment, we have this good understanding, and I had certain frustrations about this and that. It's about how does this happen with this Connect now? We have first of all, we see that our big conferences before COVID, we had conferences with 250 people. You sit there, you come in, you feel the people, the warmth, the connection. But now more and more of these big conferences, you have like 20 people in the room, and you have hundreds of people outside, which is great because you reach people you never reached before. But it misses this thing. And second, that if you go to a conference, and this is not only with our conference, but all conferences, also when you're doing your job, you go somewhere, and I'm always saying, like, if you go to a one-day conference on whatever job, whatever thing they're processing, and you find one or two interesting things, it's a good conference.
Yeah.
And 98% forget it because it's not your thing. And to avoid that, we just want to say to them, what do you need? And we will go more like, it will be more specifically for these two, I give this, for that, that they really have what they need from us, and it will be much more efficient, much more to the point, and it might help them. If some of our NGOs say, we have big problems, it's reaching corporates. How do you reach them? Do we knock on the door? Do we ring the bell? And then we can say, no, we talk about it, we reach them, and we put them together. So that is now we have Connect, and that is something that I think we should work on this year. And who knows what will pop up? You'll always have some people that say we plan a big project with the European Union, which is not easy, please. So we also support. We are now supporting also one of these projects with the European Union to get the project there founded, which is, I don't know how it is in the US, if the red tape is enormous. But the European red tape is not a red tape, it's a red motorway. It's like insanity. But we try it because they cannot do it on their own. We have some experience, we try to help them, and sometimes it works out. So on the one hand, we have our program, but sometimes things pop up and then we are there. It's very simple. For instance, last year, there was the first time that we had the European Pride. We had in Serbia, the first time in Belgrade, also in Eastern Europe. Yeah. So we go there, and then we decided to go there. We also said, let's have a small event there. We had an event there. And then we also, once again, we lived how it was in Eastern Europe. Yeah. It was frightening. It was frightening because we always know that we are very happy and open and everything. And then you saw that a country where people are so hostile towards us that you say, oh, it's also a reality check that we have. Yeah. But this can happen this year too. We never know, but we are open for everything. We're very flexible, and we can be flexible in our organization because it's just the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what Matthew mentioned is the wedding congress, and I think it is our duty to also get a little bit out of our LGBT only events, right? So it's our duty to educate the others. And this wedding conference was actually quite quite, for me, important event. Why? Because we were able to also basically tell the insights from the community. So when it comes to basically same-sex marriages, as they are not always accepted, you still have many countries in Europe which do not allow the marriages, and even some which are not even recognizing civil partnership. So this is one thing, what is basically the insights. But it's also about opportunities, because if we run a chamber or business chamber, then it's about giving the opportunities to the LGBT businesses who are able to bring the added value to the supply chain. So if somebody is organizing a wedding and they want to have an LGBTIQ supplier for that and other thing, then we are of course able to help. So these events, which are outside of the core of the human rights, I think for us are important as well.
Oh, this is good. And yeah, go ahead.
Another example is when I arrived here in Capelle, where I live now, 2 years ago. I said at a given moment, you know what? I joined a political party. Not important which one, a local, general party, but on the level of our village, to our city. And I went there and I had to present myself. And I said, well, yeah, I'm Ludo and I'm married to Eve, my husband, and everything. And that was no problem at all. That was good. But then I talked about them. Do we do here in our environment? Do we do something for diversity? Do we do something to open up? Do we do something to be ready and think about these people too? And that starts working now. I mean, so you can also do that. It was not planned, because I said perhaps I don't know, perhaps they kick me out, that gay guy, kick him out. But I become very popular, especially with the older ladies. But that's one of my things. I'm always very popular with older ladies, especially when they have a small handicap. I'm very popular. But they is now a part of their program for the next elections, which was not happening. And this is, of course, I don't want to be a big politician or anything, but you see, you also can do outside of your little environment. You can do things and say, look, I'm this, but have you thought about it? And then they say no. Although they don't hate us, they just say no. And that was put now in the program. So these are things that I think we can also make a difference. It's an important thing for us, making a difference with what we do.
Yeah. Well, this is all fantastic. And even more importantly, I hope that there's always a good chance that if some of us get together in the real world in Palm Springs with the NGLCC conference coming in August. So I'll cross my fingers that could happen.
Yes, I'm quite excited to be there again.
Yes. But I think mostly I'm just really happy and I feel fortunate that you're able to take some time and kind of share the story with the rest of our audience about kind of what's going on there. And very excited to see kind of where things continue to go.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Once again, so if somebody wants to read more about us, East Meets West, I think the pages are basically the paper to read, because it's not only giving info about what we do and what various successes can we celebrate, but it's also very much about the region. And the second thing, and I completely forgot I wanted to say. Second thing is about, it only can take just 2 people to make the difference, right? It doesn't have to be a huge organization, right? With the board and I don't know how many members, just 2 people can make a difference. And I'm proud of Ludo. I'm proud of myself that we started this journey together 13 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. You have a lot to be proud of. So really, thank you both so much for being here. And like I said, look forward to being able to connect in the real world.
Thank you so much, Matt. Bye.